Hey guys, Retro Reviews here again with another Transformers video review. This time I will be taking a look at the last Cybertron figure that I have for a while to look at. And it's going to be a pretty good sized one, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at Galaxy Force Flame Convoy. Now, this is the same toy as Cybertron Scourge. However, this is the Korean Sonokong release of Flame Convoy, so it retains, even though both Scourge and Flame Convoy between Hasbro and Takara retain the same paint, same everything about it. The only difference being the Cyberplanet Key. This time, the gold-rimmed Cyberplanet Key for the leader of Jungle Planet. This one does not have the code on the back, since this is so that makes this technically the Galaxy Force release. Now, going ahead and taking a look at him in his Dragon mode, you can see he is pretty good sized. A lot of awesome details going on. I do like the gradient purple onto orange on some of the details here. Take a look at that head. Very, very menacing dragon head. And we can also bend the neck up and get a better look at it. Head is articulated. It can bend up and down a little bit, and the jaw does open up. Some silver painted teeth on there. Does look very nice. I do like having it bent down a little bit because it helps fill this gap up a little bit better. For beast mode, posability wise, it's kind of a little bit bad. Most of the posability is meant for his robot mode, and we do have a little bit of we do have ratcheted hips, as well as some. We do have all of that, but it's kind of not useful in beast mode at all. Also, the tail does have a hinge here, as well as ratchet right there, so it can bend up a little bit and then rotate side to side, but that's all you can really get for it. Now, I wish I had some more of the beasts in, or all the rest of the beasts that I've reviewed in vehicle mode, or in beast mode right now, but I don't. I also don't need to real quick grab a couple that I want to do size comparison with this guy later. But here we go. So, yeah, I don't have anything really to to compare him with like any companions, but I do have the modern day deluxe that or Voyager that I can compare him with, the Optimus Prime. Now, Scourge is big compared to Optimus Prime here. You can see Optimus barely takes up the area of his torso. So this thing is pretty good sized for... It is an Ultra class, however, actually. So it's definitely going to be bigger than a Voyager class figure. And even back then, it's going to be bigger than a Voyager class figure because that's the price point. But also, a modern day Voyager is smaller than Voyagers from this era. So it's going to be even smaller than that. This is actually closer to what we have for a leader class figure. But I don't have any of my leader class War for Cybertron guys available. I guess the best one I can do a size comparison with in later is my Studio Series Grindor, so I can go ahead and get that ready. Okay. So yeah. Now for gimmick wise, Scourge does utilize both, or pretty much all his gimmicks are utilized in both modes. It doesn't have very much. We do have a button here on the back. Pretty obvious button. You push that and then his eyes flash and then he roars. I'll go ahead and kill the light real quick so you can see that. Oh, also, and the little head gem does flash as well. Now, also for the Cyberplanet Key gimmick, we are going to need to move his head out of the way a little bit for this to make it work. We're going to go ahead and grab his Cyberplanet Key. And the key port is right there on his back. And so we're just going to go ahead and push that in. And as you plug it in, it does do the transformation noise. And then these little guys do end up swinging down. So now he becomes a three-headed dragon. And when you do, I don't know if this gets seen very well, but when you do swing these guys down and their mouths open up, that eyeball goes into place. So that's a nice little touch. And then with that key inserted, now the sound effect changes to a blast. Let's go ahead and remove that. And then when you're putting these guys back, you want to bend the neck back first and then pull it all the way up. So that way it clears the spikes on the dragon mode's head. So there's that. Now for the transformation. What we're going to do is start off by taking the tail, straightening it, or removing it, straightening it out, and then folding this all the way back, and then that down to form his weapon, an axe. I'll set that off to the side for now. Next we're going to take the legs, rotate them down, straighten them out, and then take the heel and fold that up to form a heel spur. Do the same. And then collapse this section here down into the body, like so. And then take this section here, fold that down, and then fold this piece up, and then fold that up to form the waist. And then fold the legs outward like this, and then fold the feet down to get your finger into this door to open it up, and swing the fist out, and then close the door, and then straighten the arm down. And then finally, we're going to take the dragon head and we're going to rotate it all the way down until it rests in place on his chest. And you move the camera up here a bit. And then take this little knob here on the back of his head, and then that'll let us get a hold of it, and then turn it around. And there we have Scourge in his robot mode. Real quick, go ahead and take a look at that head sculpt. Very nice head sculpt. I do like this one. Very menacing, very mean looking. Looks very nice. I do like the touch with the fangs coming up out of his bottom jaw like that too. No other real details to point out in this mode that weren't featured before. It's just now he's the dragon mode standing up with a new head. It still does look cool. It looks really menacing here. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get him all the way in the shot. See, it's kind of hard to get him all the way in shot since he does have a lot of this frills going on. Now for weapons, again, the tail becomes an axe or halberd. And pretty basic for what it is. For his articulation too, it's a little bit disappointing because we could plug that into his fist if I don't drop the figure, and that's what he looks like holding it. And we get no elbow articulation, useful elbow articulation for this thing, so we could just get him sticking it straight out and then just being a complete brute and just bludgeoning people with it. So as I mentioned with that, we're going to go on to the articulation now. The head, as you saw, due to the transformation, we do get a 360-degree swivel, as well as it does allow it to look up and down. The shoulders are on 360-degree ratchet joints. And the elbow, we do have a bicep swivel, as well as ratcheting elbow joint that does more than 90 degrees. However, fist is stuck in this position, so no wrist swivel. No waist articulation to speak of. Hips, they only rotate forward and backwards. They don't split out any further. That's how it's actually molded with that archway. I mean, it is kind of alike. It does have some room there for... Yeah, it does. Okay, so it does click in and out, but there's no real use for that. And then knee does a little bit more than 90-degree bend. And then ankle can also pivot due to the transformation. And then the toe, the foot at the ankle is on a swivel. So that's a little bit nice for when it comes to posing, kind of getting a little bit of an A stance, a little bit more support for him. Both of the play feature other gimmicks are available in this mode. The roar and lighting up chest, or lighting up dragon head does work, as well as the cyber key gimmick. Although this time you do actually have to bring... You are supposed to be able to bring the dragon mode heads down, but they sometimes don't want to come down. And I'm worried that how strong that ratchet joint is, it's going to break. But that's what that looks like with the dragons, or the heads up. And just go ahead and get those plugged back in. A little bit of a difficult one to get lined up properly to get put in, but there we go. Now for size comparison, we're going to do the Optimus Prime again. Modern day Voyager. Pretty much a figure that everybody has at this point, so... Or at least a version of. So as you can see, he is quite a bit bigger, as he should be. Although, funny thing is, this thing retailed at $30 15 years ago, and this was $30 today, so. And it's another modern figure to position it with would be a modern day leader class. So keep in mind, Leader Class Studio Series Grinder is actually out on retail right now, and it is about $50 depending on where you're getting it. 50 US dollars. And Scourge is still a little bit bigger than him. So Scourge actually, due to just for his size alone, makes up for the price. And now we're getting Scourge in with his companion here, who decided to try to transform on me as I was picking him up. So here we have the Leader Class Megatron figure. So Scourge actually if you don't watch if you haven't watched Cybertron, Scourge is one of the few that actually did join with the Decepticons for a long time, until like the very last minute he does join the side of the Autobots because he realizes that Galvatron is completely insane and wants to destroy the entire universe, which includes him. So there he is next to Megatron. Their color coordination, or lack thereof, is throwing my white balance way off on camera. So we're going to just set him off to the side. And the other Decepticon-affiliated Beast Planet figure that I have would be Brimstone. So as you can see, there they are side by side. And now the last comparison I wanted to do is the other leaders of their respective planets when it comes to, well, not necessarily leaders so much as keepers of the Cyberplanet Keys. So here we have Scourge with Override and Evac. Now, no Metroplex at this point because I do not own one, cannot find one complete for a good price that I want to pay, and just haven't had the chance to find one. But as you can see, there he is with the two other convoys, aside from Optimus. The two other convoys from this series. So we do have Nitro Convoy, Live Convoy, and Flame Convoy. So yeah, Scourge is a very fun toy to pick up. I do, again, just like a lot of the other figures I've mentioned for the Cybertron line, this line is full of its hits. Its duds, its misses are very few and far between, and even some of the, like, the ones that are just below average are still pretty decent figures. So Scourge is up there on some of the higher ones. He is fun to play with. He does have a lot of gimmicks, a lot of fun, or not a lot of gimmicks, but a lot of fun with his gimmicks. I do like the flip up three-headed dragon thing going on. And just overall a very nice display piece. And even if you're not trying to do a completion thing, I do highly suggest picking this figure up. There is actually a couple variants of Scourge that you can get. You can get, there was this one, which is also the same as, there's Scourge / Flame Convoy, and then there's also Cryo Scourge that was released here in the United States as an homage to the Cryotech figure that came out in Robots in Disguise, which was a metallic blue, light blue, and chrome blue repaint of Beast Wars Transmetal 2 Megatron. So there's that one, and then there was also a Bruticus release that kind of has Predaking's colors, like a G1 Predaking's colors. It was released for the Universe 2008 line, and I honestly think that was supposed to be a reference to the Robots in Disguise Bruticus figure, due to the name and the color scheme. Which that figure is a pretty interesting one on its own. It is supposed to be a Cerberus. So the three-headed dog. It doesn't execute it very well, and it was originally planned for Beast Machines, but the figure got canceled, or the line got canceled before the figure could be released. So it's the only other figure besides Megatron in Robots in Disguise that was a bad guy that wasn't previously released in a line. So that's a little bit cool to it too. So you have different ways to get the Scourge mold. Any one of the three would be a good bet to play with, but this is the only one that comes with the gold rimmed Cyberplanet Key. So just be aware of that. If you get Cryo Scourge or Bruticus, it does not come with the gold rimmed key. So that being said, if you want to pick up the Scourge, I do highly recommend grabbing him. He is a fun one to have in the collection. And other than that, that's all I have. So this has been Ratchet Reviews. I hope you guys liked this video review, and I will see you again next time. Bye.